What is seam allowance? Let's talk about what it is and the correct seam allowances to use when you're making clothes. Seam allowance is the extra space from the stitch line to the edge of the fabric. Seam allowance is not extra fabric, it's the margin that makes construction possible. So when you make your pattern, you need to account for the seam allowance. But as you can see here, different seams have different allowances. So let's talk about the correct allowances, or at least the allowances that I use for different seams. First up, a really nice one to know is a plain seam. That's what you use most of the time and what you use on the side seam of a pair of jeans. It'll look something like this with salvage, bias tape, or overlocked. For one of these seams, I like to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Some people do different things, I like a 1/2 inch. Another very important one is an overlock seam. These vary depending on the garment. Normally it's a 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch. Another important one to know is a flat felled seam, used on the inseam, yoke, and rise. I use a 3/4 of an inch seam allowance for a flat felled seam. And when sewing pockets, you don't want too much extra bulk, so use a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. There's no exact science necessarily. It's kind of up to you, but make sure you remember what you use on your pattern so that your measurements aren't off. I hope this video cleared up some questions or maybe taught you something about seam allowance. Drop a comment if there's anything I missed, or if there's any other questions you have. For more sewing related content and cool clothes, go ahead and drop a follow. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can make something beautiful. Have a great day. Peace out.